it's game number 1 in round 6. Coming at you right now.
And now let's see the all-important die roll for this matchup. They're going to re-rolling 2 dice, and it's a 9 here from John. 9s lose sometimes. Let's see if we get an 11.
Snake eye. Let's go.
Oh, snake.
Good luck. Good luck.
Not a good omen here for Jacob.
Well, maybe it's just to signify the level 1s in his deck.
That's right. You have a bunch of level 1s. Now you have 2 level 1 dice. I like that. All right, so John is going to be starting things off. See if he starts with an Aluber.
Okay. Stand my face, make phase 1.
Goes to main phase 1, and he's got...
Blazing Cartesia.
Seen a lot of her this weekend. Only good things.
And now that's going to follow up with Branded Opening. So it gets the Blazing Cartesia on the field first since it has the quick effect Diffusion Summon. That means it'll be able to protect Aluber's effect from being negated by something like Infinite Impermanence.
That's Branded Opening pitching another Branded Opening. Aluber resolves successfully. Perhaps Branded Fusion. Now, nothing here is protecting the Branded Fusion. Let's see if that goes through. It does.
Small nod from Jacob, knowing that, oh no, I don't have Ash Blossom, please don't do too much. He's going to send down Lubellion, which is a light monster, and Fauna Albaz. So that means he's going to go to Fusion Summon Albion.
That's the Bestial Lubellion down there. Love Bestial Lubellion. That's a fantastic card.
I love the artwork. It's so cool looking, and it's so strong at the same time. We're going to see really how powerful it is here, because he's going to be able to use the Albion here to banish Aluber and Fauna Albaz to summon the Lubellion from the extra deck.
And there we go. That goes in the extra monster zone.
Yeah, I like to tend to summon my first fusion monster in the extra monster zone because I know I'm just not going to be using it for any link monsters, so I might as well just capitalize on getting that extra zone out for my monsters.
Interesting. Infinite Impermanence is the discard for that. And turns Fallen of Albaz and Lubellion into Mirror Jade.
Yeah, that could mean whatever card he has in hand he values more than Infinite Impermanence. Could just be another copy of Infinite Impermanence. Maybe something like Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring.
And he's going to get another card in the end phase here with Albion, too. Triggering it off to summon the Bestial Lubellion from the graveyard. And the Bestial Lubellion can grab I believe it's a branded continuous card from the deck, and he gets branded Lost.
And now the Branded Lost is on the field. He's going to be able to fusion summon here by activating the Blazing Cartesia effect to make Grand Ganol. And now Grand Ganol will send a level 6 or higher lighter dark from the deck or extra deck to the graveyard. Branded Lost is going to add a monster that mentions Fallen Albaz from the deck to the hand.
Searching through there.
A lot of times you're looking for cards like Albion, the monster effector Albion.
Like ad libitum.
Yep. This will get him a draw and be able to send something like Branded Retribution to the graveyard.
Checking the extra deck real fast there, and then resolving the other effect.
Yeah, Albion the Strata Dragon, one of my favorite cards in the Albaz deck. I mean, if it's in the graveyard, it counts as Fallen Albaz, which is cool. But if it's in your hand, you can send a Branded Spell Trap from your hand to special summon from your hand. You can send a Branded Spell Trap from your deck to the graveyard to put it on the bottom and draw a new card. And if it's in your graveyard, you can return it to the deck to send a Branded Spell or Trap. And now it looks like he is going to send the Gimmick Puppet to the graveyard with the Grand Ganol, and now the Albion is going to send Branded Retribution to the graveyard.
Now, is this appreciably better? Like, doing the Gimmick Puppet thing, is that appreciably better than what Branded normally does?
Better? No. Effective at making the opponent not be able to special summon for the turn? Effective, but I'm in that same kind of thought where if I'm going first with Branded, I don't need to give you a Gimmick Puppet. You're not going to be able to beat the setup. If you don't Ash Blossom my Branded Fusion, chances are you're not going to be going very far anyways.
And in this matchup in particular, it does less than nothing.
Oh, a deck that doesn't special summon. Oh, I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about the Gimmick Puppet versus Fluunderies. That's crazy. Even more reason not to use the Gimmick Puppet.
So Goldsark goes ahead and banishes Despian Tragedy. Now that's going to give him the ad libitum. Because I feel like it just feels extraneous. It's
really
like doing all this is just really good to begin with. And you're putting 2 extra cards in your deck for this particular play that also makes you give up one of your fusions.
Yeah, John definitely doesn't know his opponent is on Fluundery, so that'll be a funny thing to see if he's like relying on this Gimmick Puppet to win in the game. But yeah, he added the ad libitum from the Despian Tragedy, and now he's going to be setting Branded Expulsion from the deck. So he's in end phase already.
I will also use the effect of.
And since the fusion monster was sent to the graveyard, the Blazing Cartesia will return to the hand here at the end phase.
That will be my turn.
So yeah, relying on everything just to have Mirror Jade here. So if anything stops this branded expulsion, could be a bestial monster or anything, it would be just Mirror Jade he's relying on, really.
Thank you.
But I mean, now we know his opponent's playing Flunderies. He's not really gonna have to worry about.
We know that it's Flunderies.
This is too funny. Good way to counter the strategies other people bring. If they're trying to lock you out of special summoning anything but gimmick puppets, just say, who cares? I don't need a special summon.
Targeting Albert and
All right, well, the good thing is you can tribute off the Grimygo here. And that's going to help out a bit.
So Expulsion's going to tribute off the fusion to summon the two monsters. Going to summon a Luber from the banished, gimmick puppet from the graveyard. So now, since the gimmick puppet is summoned for the rest of the turn, Jacob cannot special summon. Jacob is completely okay with that. Okay, but maybe he didn't have a good hand, so instead of revealing the strategies he's playing, he's going to pretend, I mean, not pretend, but act like maybe this gimmick puppet locked him out of being able to do anything.
Yeah, that's interesting here.
I mean, the downside has always been to Flunderies is not drawing any ways to really get monsters onto the field.
Yeah, I do wonder what his hand was. Maybe he just didn't have any Flunderies monsters. Like, he just got a handful of spells and traps.
It's like an Impin.
Yeah, then there's no reason to even go on with that particular duel.
But diving straight into his side deck, John's not going to really be able to. I mean, when you lose or when you win game one without being able to see what your opponent is playing, you kind of just have to side generically. So you assume you're going to go second, maybe put in cards like Evenly Matched, Lightning Storm, just some cards that are generically good against a wide variety of the decks in the format.
All right, so John wins game one, and presumably you side out the expulsion at that point. So
Yep.
No, you're not going first.
It definitely has cards to take out.
I suppose it does give you 2 more slots to switch in side deck cards.
I do. That is always the benefit of going over 40 sometimes. I'm like, including these cards, I'm like, well, this makes side decking a little bit easier. So there's an advantage to going over 40 sometimes when you have a little more flexibility with the cards you're taking out of your deck for the better ones you're going to put in for specific matchups.
It's interesting. There's a lot of these things that are just... So, like, the expulsion with the gimmick puppet, right? Or the zone lock with Kashtira. These are all things that if you draw the hand that gets you those, you're just going to win anyways.
Usually, yeah.
And they add extra risk as well by opening you up to, other stuff that you don't have to be open to, like Nibiru in the Kashtira case. I don't know. Obviously, it's working for folks. I don't know that I would necessarily partake. But, if you win, you win.
Yeah, definitely. It's a bold strategy, but it's been paying off for a lot of the branded players here this weekend. John, sitting at 5-0, up one game here, looking to go 6-0. But, Jacob's probably not, he's not worried, I would say, just yet, knowing he gets to go first here in game number 2. But you can't really think about game number 3. You're going to focus off the one game ahead of you. Not worried, just shrug off the loss you just had and really focus on what you can do right now.
Yeah, it's a little... I think maybe there's just an inherent advantage against Flunderies in this case because there's, do they necessarily play Ash Blossom? When you think of, what cards are being played from the hand on the opponent's turn, it's either the Flunderies cards through their own effects, or it's Dimension Shifter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Shifter's a good one. Shifter definitely would still help out a lot against the branded strategy, just being able to cut them off from being able to use those graveyard effects like Banishment, branded in red. I think I could see Dimension Shifter sticking in, going in the deck. But you're probably going to be seeing more main deck cards here instead of side decking too much when you're going first. I wonder if, I'm assuming Jacob has to go first. There's no way he's going to try and catch John off guard and flip the script on him.
There's not a chance. Not a chance.
Stand by phase. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, sorry about that.
It looks like they've made their decisions. They've got their opening hands ready to go.
Yeah, I double-checked the Gimmick Public Nightmare. I was like, maybe it's all summons, but no, it is just special summons.
Just special summons.
Yeah, I had to double-check. I was like, maybe he didn't know. But yeah, I'm assuming he just didn't have a good hand there. I wish sometimes we can kind of get a little peek at what they have, but no chance on that game where you're going to get to see anything from him. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. It's game number 2. It's Flunderies versus Branded. John Wilkin trying to redeem himself after getting second place at Team YCS. And now Jacob is leading things off with a Pot of Duality, revealing triple tactics thrust, flunderies, and Snowl, I think, and
Snowl and Impen. Interesting. So Snowl was not really used at all for the longest time. That's a new development post barrier statue.
And not getting a Robina or an Eaglin off of it is just devastating.
Yeah, it just seems it seems like Jacob's it's just not his round here.
My hopes were high for these birds, but they've just been grounded this entire match.
Loses an Imperm to Harpy's Feather Duster.
Oh man, that looks like a Harpy's Feather Duster out of Magnificent Mavens as well. One of my favorite all artworks for that card.
Aluber hits successfully. Branded Fusion's up next. Branded Fusion's up. If I'm looking at Jacob in the corner there, he's not even looking at his cards. He's just
it's over.
It's
that is a defeated duelist.
Yeah, his eyes are glazed over a little bit there.
He's looking off to the side, not looking at his opponent. Yeah, maybe he has something. Maybe he's trying to give off that vibe. It could be a bluff. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if maybe he thought about keeping that infinite permanence in hand so it couldn't be hit by something like Harvey's Feather Duster, and he could have saved it for that Aluber. But kind of when you draw like one of those bad hands, you can really get on yourself, and instead of thinking about what can I do with these bad cards, or not the greatest of cards, I'm just going to be upset because I can't do anything. I'm just going to play like it's not anything. But you can really capitalize on whatever you have. You just have to not give up at some point.
So Fallen and Albaz with the Bestial Rebellion combined to make Albion the branded dragon.
Yep.
Albion effect is being considered.
He probably wants to leave the Aluber on the field for damage. I mean, yeah, I already see 8,000.
Leave the Bestial Rebellion in the graveyard, so no effect.
Interesting. He must not have another monster in his hand, I guess. Oh, he does.
Yeah, Blazing Cartesia up next, so he could special summon because Albaz is in the graveyard.
That makes sense.
Now Albion is tributed out to bring the Bestial Rebellion back to the field. Effect of Bestial Rebellion grabs the continuous branded card.
See if he goes for Lost or Beast. Going to be branded Lost. So he's got 58 on the board right now.
Cartesia effect?
Cartesia effect activates.
Does he have an ad libitum?
Gonna fuse a level 8 or higher monster.
So he had McCourier in hand as well. Oh, I guess he just didn't have another way to get Fallen Albaz in the graveyard. Interesting.
Then we get Grand Guignol next. The effects will trigger here. We're going to do Branded Lost as Chain Link 2. Guignol's Chain Link 1.
I wonder if he's reading the Albion the Stratadragon, because if he has a Branded Speller Trap in his hand, he can just discard it and special summon it from his hand. But he would require a Branded Speller Trap to be able to do that. It's definitely a unique effect that comes up every now and then.
I will send... Oh, sorry, search first. Search Albion, send Adlib.
Yep, I love sending ad libitum with Grand Guignol. It's such a cool thing because then you're able to use Brandon Red to add it back. He is doing
He drew the expulsion and sent that from hand.
Yep.
That should be enough.
That's 80. That's 93. That's 25, 25, 25, 18. And John Wilkins going to take it clean 2-0 over his opponent Jacob, who just could not find those flunderies. No map to get to them. No way.
No level ones. Just even off the Pot of Duality, he just revealed nothing but big birds and another duality.
And he's playing cards like Jack in the hand too to add to the consistency because he probably knows that's the weakness of his strategy. But sometimes the cards just don't fall for you.
No Advent of Adventure even. It's just rough. It's just rough sometimes.
Yeah, when you're 5-0, that can happen to you any round. Only one loss, so definitely can keep his head up and move on to the rest of the rounds with 3 more to go today. This was round 6. We have 7, 8, and 9. 3 more today, 3 more in the morning. Definitely not. He's down, but not quite out. But John moving on 6-0.
The good news is that it happened when you're undefeated. Like, you don't want that to be your bubble match, for instance.
Yeah.
That would just be the worst. So we're going to take a quick break right now, but don't go away.